So you might be thinking about retiring here to the Beehive State, and if so, you are in luck, because today I'm going to be sharing with you and kind of walking you through some of the advantages and disadvantages of actually retiring here in Utah, and we're going to hop into it right now. Here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your very first time here. I'm a licensed and active real estate agent here in Utah, and this channel is literally everything you need to know about eating, working, playing, sleeping, and living in Utah. If that is of interest to you, consider subscribing down below. Make sure you tap that bell for notifications so you are notified every week we drop a new video. We hear from people like you all the time who are looking to make a move, who are looking to relocate, buy or sell a property here in Utah, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about making a move in a week, in a month, or even a year from now, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and my team and I would absolutely love to help you out. So I have gotten many calls over the years about people retiring here in Utah, and I'm actually helping two families right now, under contract with one, that are relocating here to Utah. And everybody's reasons for relocating and retiring here in Utah are different. But I know for the clients that I'm currently helping, they want to be close to family. They're like, you know what, we've lived out of state for so many years, and the time is right, and we are going to, we're retiring. We want to be closer to family. This is it. So and it's been interesting too, working with them as they transition and decide, relocating here. We've really been talking about some of the pros and cons with them too. And I'm like, just so that this is going to be different than probably where you're coming from, and this might be different, but here's some of the advantages and disadvantages. So let's hop right into it. Number one advantage, and this kind of goes, the reason why they are moving here is family. Utah is a very family-friendly, community sort of driven place. It is, there are so many people here that move here because they're like, I want that sense of community. When they see their neighbors, people are waving. When I'm here at a beautiful park today, at the park, I have met so many different people. People are walking their dogs. Everybody, oh, hi. Oh, is the trail muddy today? Is it clear? Is it this? Is that? People are just very friendly. You've got a really friendly environment and a very community sort of driven, place here in Utah, which kind of leads me into number two. Number two, another pro for retiring here in Utah, when we talk about community, the different types of senior centers, the community rec centers that you are going to experience here in Utah, depending on where you're coming from. I know when we relocated here, we were blown away. We could not believe the incredible community centers. If you are a senior, you're retiring, you get a senior discount for, it seems like, just about everything here too. If museums and any cultural activities, the rec centers and all of that, you get a discount for being a senior. But just the community, the family friendly, is huge. Number two is the lifestyle. The lifestyle, if you live a really active lifestyle, Utah may be a phenomenal fit for you. If you like the outdoors, we have the 5 mighty national parks here. All of those are in southern Utah. And, when we're talking about Canyonlands and Bryce Canyon and Arches and Capitol Reef, all of those are just breathtaking. I know my parents ended up getting the national park pass and have used that so many times. Not only like the national parks, but the state parks, the regional parks, just the neighborhood parks are honestly just so incredible, and they're clean and they're nice, and just a lot in the way of that. So recreation, parks, if you are into golfing, if you are into skiing, if you are into boating, paddle boarding, all of that, there are so many different things that just lend itself very, very well here in Utah for an active lifestyle. So family friendly, very community driven, very, accommodates well for an active lifestyle. Talk taxes for just a minute. If you are moving here to Utah and you're curious, oh, what's the tax rate here? It is 4.65% as I'm shooting this video, which is a flat tax. So if you are on a fixed income, that 4.65%, that is it. If you are establishing residency here and purchasing a home and it is your primary residency, yes, if it's your primary residency, you are looking at 0.5% property taxes. If it is not your primary residence, you're looking at about 1% of that assessed value. So for some people, they're like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a big tax savings for me. So that cost of living piece is a big one as well. So speaking of cost of living, in terms of the national average, yes, the national average, Utah is considered more of a moderate, when we're talking about cost of living. It's certainly not the highest, it's not the lowest, somewhere kind of in the middle. So again, for some people retiring here, they're like, oh, I'm going to be saving a lot of money simply on taxes. I'm going to be saving a lot of money on utilities and all of that. So for others, that's another big pro. Another thing, we talked a little bit about community involvement, but if you are into the arts and you're into a lot of the culture and all of that, you're going to see some really phenomenal things with the Utah Symphony. You're going to see, not only in the Salt Lake area, but also in St. George and southern Utah, you're going to notice there are so many just really phenomenal recreational, cultural, and arts. There is the Shakespeare Festival, which is in southern Utah. There is the Huntsman Games, which is a senior games. My dad has participated in it multiple years. It's for sports and recreation, so all different sports competing for a couple of different weeks. Lots of fun there. They always have like an incredible, my parents say it's like the opening ceremonies is so fun. We've had other friends that have, participated in those senior games. So in terms of recreation, community, culture, there is a lot in the way of that. Let's hop into some of the disadvantages if you're thinking about, really relocating and retiring here in Utah. Number one can be the weather. Yes, this can be a big one for some people. Here in Utah, we get the 4 seasons. You are going to experience the 4 seasons. And for some, they're like, bring it on. I cannot wait. I love that. That's going to be awesome. For other people, they're like, ooh, you know what? That snow might be too cold. It might be too snowy. The extreme heat, sometimes if you are in southern Utah, that heat during the winter time, or during the summertime can get really, really hot for an extended period of time. So just know that weather can be a big factor. I know a lot of people that have retired here to Utah that will actually split time between the Salt Lake area, the northern part of Utah, and then southern part of Utah, simply because of weather. So you'll have some people that will spend a lot more time in northern Utah during the summer months because it's warm, but it's not anything like southern Utah. In southern Utah, you'll have people that will spend a lot of winters there. They kind of call them like snowbirds, and they will winter in southern Utah and then will do this flip-flop between Salt Lake and southern Utah. So that, for some, weather is a big one. Number two is, moving right along in the Salt Lake area, you are going to get an inversion sometimes. An inversion, it's this thick smoggy air that kind of comes in, sits for a little bit, and then ends up blowing out. If you have respiratory problems, that can be a factor for some people that they're like, oh, you know what? It doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't even happen like a ton, but enough where if that's going to be a concern, Utah, at least the Salt Lake area, that may or may not be a good fit for you. Southern Utah, you don't experience that as much at all. So kind of knowing a couple of those different things is really helpful too. And last two, some people see this as an advantage, some as a disadvantage. The growing population here in Utah has grown, considerably over, the last decade. And so for some people, they're like, you know what? I don't want to be around as many people. Other people are like, you know what? I love that. And last but not least is the altitude. The altitude here in Utah is a lot higher than in some of the other areas. If you are in, like, for example, Park City, Utah, you're looking at about the elevation and the altitude, you're about 7,000 feet up. If you are in the Salt Lake area, it's more about 4,500, 5,000 feet up. So depending on where you are, that altitude for some people can affect different things, but others are like, nope, it's great, I'm just fine. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea if you are thinking about retiring here, that active lifestyle, the taxes, the cost of living, the natural beauty, the number of activities that are here. And then also something we didn't touch on is really the good healthcare, both in southern Utah and in northern Utah. You are going to experience some really, really phenomenal healthcare facilities and all of that. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea. If you are thinking about retiring, making a move out here, my team and I help people like you all the time, and we absolutely love it. So feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and it would be our absolute pleasure to connect with you. Take care, and wishing you a fabulous rest of your day. Bye.